Hi, I'm going to be reflecting on my experience within the MG317 course with use of the learning diaries we've been making throughout the year to reflect on each element of the course. My original assumption on reflection was just that it was all about reflecting on your experience and what was shown right in front of your face, instead of reflecting further and thinking, how can I use this in the future and what can I take away from this experience to grow as a person and expand my management skills. I also never really thought about self reflection, meaning not only criticizing the information or assignments given to me, but analysing my own strengths, weaknesses, and points I can improve on. This skill I've learned, I believe, is one of the most important that I will take away with me because it will allow me to reflect and adapt to any environment opposed to the environment adapting to suit me. In terms of communication, the tutorials and workshops I've learned a lot. In the beginning, I was nervous to be open with my team and especially to offer my own opinions or ideas. I was able to argue confidently other points that were volunteered by other members, but to introduce my own ideas I thought was quite daunting. And reflecting now back on the course, I can see I improved in this area and notice this turnaround in the workshop in week 9 specifically, because this was where the assigned team watched our team discuss a case study and we'd swap roles and then we'd interview them and watch them. But the individual marking of our performance encouraged me to stand out more, opposed to just sort of taking a step back and arguing points that were offered to me. It was a slow process for me, but I'm confident now that I will be able to carry this confidence forward to future management practices. And I have learned that I'm more creative than thought I was originally. And I realised, especially from the Halfords workshop, where we had to come up with innovative products for their existing product line. And I've also learned that I can be quite good with deadlines, and that if we have a time limit for a task, for example, in the workshops, we're often told, okay, you've got half an hour, 40 minutes, and I was able to manage my time well and press on when there was pressure involved. However, this is still an area which could be further improved, especially after learning about self management in the course material. I feel like I could do better in that area. And one of the most important tasks that we took part in was the tutorial in week 2, I thought, where we got the two example assignments and compared them. In terms of my future development, I believe this task allowed me to identify common mistakes which can appear when writing a critical analysis piece. For example, starting a clear point but not accurately arguing against it with rational criticisms, which is something I often do. And I believe this skill will be vital when developing my future skills as a managing practitioner, because when working within the business environment, the ability to have a team which is reliant on your ability to successfully grow the business success, the ability to correct, identify poor arguments, and writing ability is also vital in a management role, due to being responsible for employees' work, and any mistakes or poor work produced can result in business setbacks, which obviously you don't want when you're responsible as the manager. And an important lecture for me was lecture 2, where we explored traditional contemporary models of management. Because I was able to take the information and identify the types of management I've experienced myself in working experiences that I've had in the past. And I was able to decide what style of management the managers I've worked with fall under, and therefore better structure my assignment, which is the individual assignment 1. This will also benefit my future development in managing practice, as I can witness which route or form of management is suitable for a particular work environment or organisation. In terms of being a future practicing management, I may also use foundations of traditional management theories and contemporary theories in order to successfully identify my personal style of management, which I think is essential to the success of your organisation, particularly in a management position with a team of followers below you. And the reflection lecture was also probably the most vital lecture that I think that we had after reflecting on them all. And it just kind of took away a lot with me, which was beneficial to not only the course itself, but also just for future development. In terms of developing future management practice, I believe I'll take with me the focus on arguing and critically reflecting all information I receive, and myself included. I think I have a tendency to take information at face value and assume it will always be correct instead of looking outside and questioning it. This is important as a future practicing manager, as it is ultimately the manager's responsibility to guide their team and the business to success and in the right direction. And so they must always question all information passed to them to look for flaws which could cause potential setbacks for the company or mistakes being made. And the idea of personal reflection is also a skill I'll use in the future career, as it is essential to do a personal evaluation on your performance in order to ensure your best work is being produced and there's no room for improvement. And finally, I think the final workshop that we had, which was focusing a lot on individual assignment 3 with a video on their learning diaries, but I thought it was important in terms of reflection as well, as a lot of the information given was essential information for those wanting to become a future manager. So I thought it was probably the most useful, even though there wasn't particularly a lot amount of theory in it. I thought it was one of the most useful. And just to develop my management practice, I can bring forward into the future the key management skills learned, which were listed in the workshop, and I can use that for my future development. When leading a team or playing a powerful role in an organization, like as a manager, management style I think was important to improve your processes and operations. This is because you are learning to work in the best way which suits you personally. So this combined with constant reflection, critical reflection or self-reflection on your performance should mean that you will be improving every day and maximizing your performance for your organization. So I would say the most important thing that I've learned after all the workshops and lectures, everything, and also through doing the learning diaries, I feel like self-reflection is something which I really needed to work on and I'll continue to work on in the future. But it's the most important lesson I think I've learned through the management course, as well as learning to be more confident and introduce more ideas when I have them, instead of just taking what's in front of me, arguing for and against. I should be better at introducing my own ideas and arguing with other people with my thoughts rather than just taking theirs on board. So I think that's the most important lesson I can take away from the reflection of this course.